Welcome back to the Traders Network show and our coverage of the 2019 Greenwich Economic Forum. My next guest needs very little introduction. He is a media titan, Byron Allen, CEO of Entertainment Studios. Byron, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Matt. It's good to be here. Really appreciate you having me.
Oh, it's our pleasure. So we're here at the forum. We got approximately, I think, $7 to $18 trillion under management that's sitting in the room next to us.
Well, that's not enough. I have to leave right now.
Well,
it's only 18 trillion under management. That doesn't work for me. Go ahead.
Well, economic development and public-private partnerships is really what the launching pad of this event is for. You're here representing your organization and thought leadership. Tell us why this event is important to you.
You know, we're always reaching out to the capital markets, and we want the capital markets to know us innately, know what we've done, what we're doing, know our vision, and we want them to hopefully embrace that, and we can build a phenomenal business together.
You know, now I think the vast majority of people out there who, at least within our generation, know you as a media titan. But truth is that you're a finance, M&A, and investment banking expert as well. You've gone through a series of high-level transactions from the Weather Channel to divisions of Fox and partnerships with St. Clair. Can you tell us a little bit about that? I mean, tell us, how did you make that transition?
Great question. You know, I started as a stand-up comedian when I was a kid, and ended up being one of the youngest. I ended up being the youngest comedian to do the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson, writing jokes for Jimmy Walker with Jay Leno and David Letterman. Jay and Dave were getting $200 a week. I was getting $25 a joke, and just loved doing comedy and entertaining folks. And I realized, you know, it wasn't show business; it's business show, and I had to learn the business side of show business. And I started doing that when I was about 19 years old and really took to it, really love it, and started my company from my dining room table about 26 years ago, and started selling my first show. Next thing I know, we have over 60 shows and 10 networks, including the Weather Channel, which I bought last year.
Yeah.
And we have 15 television stations in 11 markets, and we have a movie distribution company, and I just love what I do, and I haven't had a job since I quit my paper route, which was, I was a little kid and I was getting half a penny a paper to throw the Herald Examiner. So I love what I do. I think, Matt, you know, I'm one of the luckiest people on the planet. I'm truly blessed, and I'm just having a great time.
You know what? Listen, as one person, I mean, I threw my papers in my hometown in Seattle, Washington. So
Probably better than me. I wasn't that great.
I ended up being a quarterback for the high school, but that was about as far as I went.
I never came close to that.
What's next for you?
You know what? When I met my wife almost 20 years ago, I told her, she asked me what I was doing, and I said, I'm building the world's biggest media company. And that's what I'm doing. We're building something that I feel is special. And we don't want to just build something that's the biggest and the best. We also want to do a lot of good along the way and open up doors for a lot of good people. You know, my mother had me 17. She got pregnant with me when she was 16 years old. And she had me 17 days after her 17th birthday. And what changed our life is my mom got into UCLA, and she ended up getting her master's degree in cinema TV production. And because of that, she was able to get a job as an intern at NBC. She went to NBC and said, do you have an intern program? They said no. And she asked a question that changed our lives. She said, will you start one with me? And they said yes. And because she was an intern there, she later became a tour guide and went on to the publicity and marketing department. But as a kid, I used to go out to NBC with her, and that's where I would stand in the wings and I watched Johnny Carson do his show, and Red Fox tape Sanford and Son, and Flip Wilson do the Flip Wilson show, and Bob Hope do his specials. And I watched all these amazing comedians, and I thought, what a wonderful way to go through life, making people laugh, entertaining people. But what changed the trajectory of our lives is education. My mom getting into UCLA. So I want to make sure that we not only build the world's greatest media company and the world's biggest media company, but we help make it accessible, education accessible to everybody, and give everybody, you know, a wonderful opportunity so that they can bring their best game. You know, we want to position people to succeed, and we want to position people to maximize their fullest potential. And so we really want to do a lot in that regard.
Well, I think you're certainly having a major impact on at least the entertainment community and the investment banking community right now, and you're doing your part to get that message out there. You were exposed to a lot of things at a really young age that helped mold who you are today.
Yes.
And that's...
I'm very fortunate.
You're very fortunate in that sense. You got to see mechanisms and repetition and how things work at a level that very few people do. And you took the academic and the fundamental education structure you had, you applied it to what you saw.
That's right.
As a youth.
That's right. I'm very blessed. I'm very fortunate. And once again, education, that's the key. My mom getting into UCLA, and that just changed the game for us. What we have, look, in this country, there's a lot to do.
Yeah.
And so this forum is important because there's a lot of capital here, and there's a lot of capital that can grow businesses and do a lot of good in the community.
Yeah.
We have about 327 million people in America, and we're less than 5% of the global population of about 7 billion. Unfortunately, half the women in this country are living at or below the poverty line. And so that's not sustainable. We have homeless children, over 2.5 million homeless children. So there's a lot to address, and we have to position ourselves for greater success. We need to make education free in this country, in my humble opinion, because I need the best you, and I need the best her. And, we have to compete as one nation, one America, against the rest of the world. There are some countries out there that have over 200 million kids in college. 2/3 of our nation in college.
That's a big number.
Right, it's a big number. 2/3 of the population of our nation in college.
Mm-hmm.
They're developing intellectual capital at a much faster rate than we are. Mm-hmm. And the capital will always follow the intellectual capital. Mm. And if we don't have enough intellectual capital, then we will continue to fall further and further behind. So for us, this is important because it's about investing in our best entrepreneurs, growing our businesses, and maintaining our global market share as we compete as a nation, one America, competing with the rest of the world to make sure that our population of 327 million people, we stay at the top of the pyramid. I mean, what people know is that as we go from 7 billion to 10 billion people, we don't have enough resources to sustain 10 billion people. And the people on the bottom 5 billion, they're going to have a lot of problems. That bottom 5 billion is going to get wiped out. So we have to make sure we work hard to make sure we stay in that upper, 2% as a global planet so that we can maintain access to the necessary resources to survive. So we want to build our company. We want to do good in America and around the world, and we want to help everybody be the best them.
I love that. I mean, addressing the bottom 5% is always been the social impact issue. Is how do you lift people that don't have the capability of lifting themselves? And I think you really touched on that. Education.
Let's just make it free. I can argue that not having all of our Americans educated fully, it's a threat to national security. So we just need everybody to bring their A game. We want you to just be the best you. And education is so key and so important.
All right, so transitioning into the forum here.
Yes.
What can we expect to hear from you on the panel?
We'll talk. We'll talk about, my experience, talk about what we can do together. I think one of the things we're going to have to do just to make America more competitive is to get everybody fully engaged. We don't have a lot of women fully engaged in the economic system, and we don't have a lot of people of color fully engaged in the economic system. And I think it's important that we have everybody on the field playing for Team America and making sure that we maintain our economic status throughout the world.
Well, gender equality is one of the core SDGs for the UN on the United Nations, I think that you're going to be a terrific advocate, and I'm looking forward to seeing what you do up there. And I want to thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you,
that I really appreciate it.
Thank
Byron.
you, appreciate it.
No, thank you. Byron Allen, CEO of Entertainment Studios. We'll be right back after these messages. Special thanks to our affiliate partners, ABC, NBC, Fox, and CBS. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
The 2019 Greenwich Economic Forum is brought to you by Bridgewater Associates. Meaningful work, meaningful relationships. Churchill Asset Management, Nuveen, a leading provider of senior and unitranche debt to middle market companies. Ropes and Gray, bright past, brilliant future. Aurora Capital, inspiring partnerships. And Gramercy Funds Management, we are emerging markets. Special considerations to Bank of America, life's better when we're connected. Noah Private Wealth Management, a leading wealth and asset management service provider in China. Guotai Jinan Futures, a leading brokerage firm for commodity futures and financial futures in China. China Industrial Securities, a comprehensive financial group providing full-spectrum financial services in Hong Kong. And Titan Advisors, built like a hedge fund. Special thanks to the Financial Times and Greenwich Business Institute for hosting us. And thank you to all the sponsors who helped make this event possible. We'll be right back after these messages. Don't go away.